Hey Reddit.
Teachers, what's the darkest thing you've seen from a student?
Like and subscribe and we'll make more videos. And share your dark story in the comments.
Our school had a selective mute kid that graduated last year. Kids were calling him Fish Boy. It turns out he was buying fish and killing them in various ways on Instagram based on people's requests in the comments.
What the frick? He needs help.
Lol, as I was reading, Fish Boy? Weird way to bully someone for being mute. Oh, he wasn't being bullied.
In elementary school we had a kid with a severe peanut allergy and a teacher caught some kids rubbing peanut butter on the opening of his water bottle. We also had a kid who could describe in detail about how to prepare heroin.
For some reason the peanut butter story bothered me more than the little heroin chemist.
That's my biggest fear when it comes to my sister. What if someone bullies her at school and kills her BC of her allergy?
Kid seemed down and I asked him to please tell me what was wrong. Not today. But when you're ready. I was his last class of the day and he promised he would. End of the year comes and he told me his brother killed himself. He said he thought about the same many times but always remembered that he had made me a promise. I made him promise to call me if he ever thought he might again and he promised me again. He's doing amazingly well and is about to graduate from college.
Doing amazing work. Recently lost a best friend to mental illness and makes a world of difference having someone like you in their social network.
You're an amazing teacher. And human.
Am a teacher. A student saw one of my former co-teachers at some point with his wife and thought she was hot. And my co-teacher took advantage of this to get the student to secretly record his sister taking showers and shiz. He offered videos of his wife performing sexual acts with him to the student in exchange. He finally got caught when the student blackmailed the teacher into trying to get the wife to frick him. And when he proposed it to his wife, she called the cops.
Imagine being so far gone that you ask your wife, "Hey, wanna sleep with this kid?" I've been sending him videos of us in return for pics of his sister. And expecting it to go somewhat okay.
I feel so sorry for her. Imagine finding out your partner was peddling porn of you to a minor.
I taught welding and metal sculpture at the high school level for a year. One morning, one of my students, a quiet, awkward, but really nice young man, came into class and asked me for a band-aid. I asked him what for and he replied that it was for a burn class hadn't started yet for the day. He showed me and it was a fresh second-degree burn that was already blistering. It was in the shape of an A. Some kids, if I'm going to be honest. They were bottom performers and troublemakers from a different class of mine had swiped a small metal letter A from one of my supply bins. Heated it with a lighter. And then branded this kid on the morning school bus. He had let the kids do it because he really wanted to fit in. He didn't have many friends and these kids had seemed cool because they were always acting out. As a mandatory reporter, I reported it. The police got involved. Other than that, I have no idea what else happened.
That gave me cold shivers. Why are people, and especially kids? It seems like so prone to Lord of the Flies type stuff so easily.
Jesus. That poor kid.
There was kid in my wife's class that squeezed the classroom hamster to death.
He just wanted to tend the rabbits.
Put the rabbit down, Lenny.
I had a kid who really wanted his parents to come to his graduation ceremony. But they were both sex offenders and couldn't be on campus. He just wanted someone there to support him.
Not to defend sex offenders. But sometimes the law is written in such a way that not all sex offenders are actual creeps. My case, when we were 22. A good friend of mine ended up becoming a sex offender. His crime? Getting drunk at a beach bar in Panama City. Beach. FL. Stumbling out to the surf at 2 a.m. and taking a whiz in the ocean. His genitalia was exposed in public and an overzealous judge dropped the hammer on him. Worst part is that he truly is a decent dude and now that's going to follow him for quite some time.
This is so sad. I'm thinking about all our seniors right now who aren't going to have any graduation ceremony at all. No mistake. Way worse to have the home life you described. But some kids idealize walking across the stage as a way to make their families proud. And will never have that opportunity now.
Girl was going through a lot. unprompted told me that her older brother died in Iraq recently and that was why she was having such a rough time. I tell all her teachers so they know it's thing to be aware of. I'm super nice with her and supportive. Eventually I tell the counselor and he calls home to ask if the family needs anything. Turns out she has never had a brother.
My sister did that too around the same age. Told kids at school our dad was not her real dad but that her real father died in Vietnam. I don't think my dad ever got over that one. It was just a precursor of more lies to come.
I did this when I was 3 at daycare. My dad had just started traveling a lot for work and someone must have asked where he was. I said he was dead. My mother was mortified when she picked me up and I went to a child psychologist for a month. Turns out 3-year-old me just wasn't grasping that dad wasn't dead, he was just in Topeka, Kansas.
I had a 3rd grader tell me in excruciating detail about every time that he's been removed from a home. Starting with how he was taken from his mother at 2 because they found drugs in his crib. In his crib. Imagine the toughest, baddest little dude you can and multiply the attitude by 100. He wrote me a note at the end of the year saying that I was a great teacher because he knew I loved him even when he was bad. It has been and will always be the best note I ever get from a student. In that same class, I had a little boy try to cut his wrists with scissors saying that he didn't want to be here anymore. Cops came to interview him and said they were just kid scissors. So it wasn't a big deal. Thankfully, Mom took it seriously and got him the help he needed.
Those cops are dumb. The intent should be what matters, not the weapon.
You are obviously an excellent educator. My wife had a very similar experience with a lost little boy who despite his behavior came to know that she cared about him no matter what. That connection, that relationship with a stable adult who shows unconditional caring, can be a lifeline to a child whose home life is a mess.